All right, today we're going to dive into something really fundamental, one of the most basic building blocks of language itself, the noun. They're these simple but super powerful words we use to name absolutely everything around us, from the very phone you might be holding right now to the idea swirling around in your head. So, how do we even begin with all this?
It really starts with a huge question. Have you ever just stopped for a second and thought about what an incredible thing we do every single day? How do we possibly take this huge, kind of chaotic world of objects and people and feelings and actually, communicate it to someone else?
Well, the answer is kind of brilliantly simple. We just give everything a name. That's it. It's the very first step we take in organizing reality into something we can share, something we can understand. That big leafy thing outside, it becomes tree. That warm feeling, it becomes joy. A famous city in France, it becomes Paris. And the tool that we use for this amazing feat, well, that's the hero of our explainer today, the noun. This is the official definition you probably remember from school, and honestly, it holds up perfectly. A noun is just a word used to name a person, a place, a thing, or an idea. Simple as that.
But, okay, our hero here isn't one-dimensional. Not at all. Nouns wear a whole bunch of different hats, and getting a handle on these different types is really the key to mastering how we describe the world with any kind of precision. So let's look at some of the most important kinds. First up, you've got the classic showdown between the general and the specific. A common noun like river refers to a whole general category of something. There are thousands of them. But a proper noun, like the Nile, now that pinpoints one single unique thing in our mental encyclopedia. And that's exactly why proper nouns get a capital letter. They're kind of like VIPs, pointing to one and only one thing.
Okay, next, let's look at how nouns deal with things you can and can't physically experience. A concrete noun is something real, something physical, like a book. You can see it, you can touch it. But an abstract noun, that's a concept, like wisdom. And this is a huge leap for us, right? You can't hold wisdom in your hand, but you could definitely name it, you could talk about it, and you can try to get more of it. This brings us to another really key difference. Countable nouns are individual things, 1 song, 2 songs, 3 songs. Easy. Uncountable nouns, sometimes called mass nouns, they refer to a whole collective thing, like music. You can listen to a lot of music, sure, but you can't really listen to 3 musics. But what's really fascinating here is that this isn't the same everywhere. In English, information is uncountable, but in lots of other languages, you can totally have informations. It's a great little reminder that our grammar rules are really just one way of slicing up reality.
So we've talked about the different types of nouns, but what do they actually do? This is where nouns get their day job, where they become these essential players in the very structure of our sentences. They basically create the engine that makes a story go.
So a noun's most common role is to be the star of the show, the subject of the sentence. The subject is the person, place, or thing that's actually doing the action. They're the one making things happen. In this sentence, the artist is the one painting. The whole sentence revolves around them.
But nouns also play a great supporting role as the object. Let's use the exact same sentence. The mural isn't doing a thing, is it? It's just there, receiving the action. And the big takeaway here is that a noun's job, whether it's the subject or the object, depends completely on where it is in relation to the verb. It defines who's acting and what's being acted upon.
So, why does any of this stuff really matter? Well, because understanding all the different faces and jobs of a noun is just fundamental. Being precise with our nouns means we're being precise with our thoughts. It's the difference between clear communication and, vague, fuzzy language. It's the difference between a flat statement and a story that really pulls you in.
Okay, let's do a super quick recap of the key takeaways. First, nouns are the basic words we use to name our reality. Simple. Second, they come in these different pairs that add layers of meaning, like common versus proper or concrete versus abstract. And finally, they do the core jobs in the sentence, acting as either the subject, the one doing the action, or the object, the one receiving it.
So I'll leave you with one last question to chew on. We know nouns let us name our world, but does it go deeper than that? How does the very act of putting things into categories with words, deciding what counts as music versus songs or what an idea like justice even means, how does that actually shape the way we see everything? Definitely something to think about. Thanks for joining me for this explainer.